There's a huge aspect about sobriety that a lot of people overlook. They talk about it in rehab and in the programs, but to the common public, it's a side that a lot of people don't think about. Alcoholics don't know how to function without their medicine. I didn't know what to be if I wasn't an alcoholic. I didn't know how to be an adult. In fact, 65% of men and women who get out of rehab, they drink within the first year. And I think it has to do more with not being able to cope with sobriety than it does addiction to booze. Your drinking really does institutionalize you in a sense. It's the only life you know. I didn't know how to get to that point that I saw everyone else at. The picket fence, the kids, the Christmas photos, the family game nights. I just assumed that came slowly, and you learn how to do those things and have all those things through life experiences. But I didn't have those experiences. I was an adult already, and I had nothing. Then I realized one of the most important things I'd ever learned. What if all those people didn't have it together? What if they were just as screwed up as me? What if they were all just acting? I was barely sober, and I don't know if everything that happened next was fate or luck. That depends on your beliefs. But 2 months after I got sober, I got a job in sales making more money than I've ever made in my life. No idea how, don't ask me. I just put out a bunch of resumes and fell into it. Over 4 years later, I'm still working there, and it's great. So suddenly I had a career. I was working for 8 months, I was sober, and everything was going better than I ever could have imagined. The kids loved the new me, Sarah loved the new me, and most importantly, I loved the new me. I loved my new job, I loved the sudden responsibility and money, but something wasn't right. I felt like a fraud. I go into houses for my job and I just started mimicking whatever I saw there. People had pictures of their family everywhere. I started putting pictures up everywhere. Other people had bread boxes in their kitchen. I put bread boxes in our kitchen. That whole first year, all I was doing was copying other people's lives and acting like men I had seen on TV shows. I didn't know what I was doing. I suddenly started getting approved for credit cards, and I had no flipping clue what an interest rate was. I felt like I had found another adult man's wallet, but it was mine. And other people just seemed to go along with it. 1 year ago, I was throwing up blood in a hospital. Now, suddenly I'm coming home from work, putting my coffee thermos on top of the fridge like Dan Connor used to do on Roseanne. I was fooling everyone. These people at my job thought I was a real adult. So I had the family photos, I had the kitchen, I had the kitchen bread box, the career, the fiance, the house. But there was something off. It was almost normal, but there was one piece missing. And then, almost on cue, there was Blur. Anyone who knows me knows that I come with a blur now. My stepkids are for another entry, and I love them all very much. But they're older, and we're more friends than anything. But Blur was a child. Blur was Sarah's nephew. His real name is Lucas, but you'll literally never hear me call him that. I've called him Blur for years now, named after a comic book character we created together. Cards on the table. I couldn't stand Blur when I first met him. But Sarah told me from day one that her sister Jen was part of the package, which meant so was her nephew. Jennifer and Blur live 2 blocks away from us. They have since the beginning, and Sarah watched Blur when Jen went to work, so he was at our house 50% of the time. When I was drinking, Blur got on my last damn nerve. But something happened now that I was sober. I don't want to get into all this right now, but my father wasn't in my life much growing up. Explains why I know nothing about how to be a man. My brother doesn't know how either. My dad was there, but he was a background character. My best friend's dad taught me how to shave. I didn't get my driver's license till I was 30, and as you're reading this, I still don't know how to ride a bicycle. Anything I knew about how to be a man was just stuff I saw on TV and in movies. I didn't know how to be a man because nobody taught me. Blur's dad wasn't in his life. Never really had been. Him and Jen divorced when he was very young, and his dad just kind of went to do his own thing. He'd check in with Blur from time to time, but for the most part, it was just Blur and Jennifer. Jen was engaged when I met her, but her and that guy separated, and Blur didn't have a father figure in his life. No one was teaching Blur how to be a man. I didn't know it then, but I would end up loving this little boy like I've never loved anything else. And it was so sudden and gradual. If I wasn't working and Sarah wasn't home, I started spending time with Blur. Free time is your enemy the first year. So I started taking Blur to the zoo, started taking him to amusement parks, teaching him how to cook, how to treat girls, how to fight. All the things my father never taught me. I hate to say it, but I use my father's absenteeism as a template for parenting. I do all the things with Blur that I wish my father did with me. I remember how much that hurt when I got excited to tell my dad stuff and he brushed it off and ignored me or told me the things I were interested in were pointless. It was like I had the chance to fix all the things that were wrong in my life through Blur. I could heal my childhood by making his better. Next thing I know, I'm going to parent-teacher conferences. I'm getting home and sitting down and doing homework for 2 hours a night. I'm going shoe shopping and dressing up as Men in Black for Halloween. Sarah gave me my life back. Blur gave my life a purpose. It's always the big things that sneak up on you so quietly. I was directing traffic with Blur for a Boy Scout event, and I was still going through my little life crisis, trying to figure out how to be a real adult. But then I realized something. As I was standing in that parking lot, remembering I had to get home that night because Sarah's stepmom was coming over for dinner, and I had to make a meatloaf, it just dawned on me. I was watching the other dads with their kids, and they were all talking to each other, laughing, just like I've been doing with them a moment ago. And then it hit me. I was there. I kept acting like an adult for so long, acting normal, that I didn't even see it happen. I wasn't acting anymore. I looked down at Blur, smiled. He asked if we could go to one of the vendors' booths that were set up for the event because he wanted to buy something. Almost idly, I responded, "Sure. Maybe you can pick out something for your mom, and I can see if there's something there Sarah would like." And he smiled and nodded back. I was there. I don't have all the answers. I don't even have half. Hell, I don't even know what the questions are. But that's the point. To the new people that are scared about a sober life and how to act or what to do when they stop drinking, here's the secret. The normal people, they don't know either. I know because I'm one of them now. I'm just acting like I do. Or maybe this is who I was supposed to be all along, and I was just running from it. I love my life now. It's the happiest I've ever been. And I can say that with sincerity, because I've lived a lot of different lives and I've been a lot of different people. And I like this one best. These people, they've become my whole world. Blur has become my whole world. He's 14 at time of writing. Just started high school. He has more questions now as he's getting older, and I try to answer as best I can because, quite frankly, I'm not really sure what a lot of the answers to life are either. I'm just figuring it out with him. But anytime I get stumped or don't know what to do or say, it's easy. I just turn on the TV and I copy what I see the dads doing on there.